Sihlushwa imtuthwane zimbi imgodi emambalini. Ubani bezovuma, ubani bezovuma shone phansi. Sihlushwa zintuthwane zimbi imgodi emambalini. Ubani bezovuma. Thokozani Hotep Royals, ubani bezovuma shone phansi. Sihlushwa zintuthwane zimbi imgodi emambalini. Ubani bezovuma, ubani bezovuma shone phansi. Sihlushwa zintuthwane zimbi imgodi emambalini. Ubani bezovuma, ubani bezovuma shone phansi. Thokozeni family, Hotep Royals, ninjani, sanbonani, dumelang, thokozani, tobela, Tsamagwini, Muribwanji, Nangadefu, Kwaziwai. Thokozani family, how is everyone doing this evening? I am back because the cry for a live talking about monitoring spirits was loud, was very loud. And I think based on what I have seen out there and how other people have explained monitoring spirits, I'd like to speak into that space because I think there's a lot of misinformation. And I think as a result, people really don't know what a monitoring spirit is. And so I thought we would have that discussion this evening. And I would share with you some deeper insights so that you understand what we mean when we're talking about a monitoring spirit. The first thing I'm going to tell you is the term monitoring spirit is literally talking about a spirit that is monitoring you. People have talked about monitoring spirits being human beings. The truth of the matter is, I will explain how that can look like a human being when it actually isn't a human being, it's actually a spirit, right? By the way, for those who are joining for the first time, I'd like to make this fully transparent. I do these teachings for Bagwantu. I do these teachings for the Black family. I do these teachings for those who are interested in African spirituality, who are somehow connected to the continent of Africa and who are melanated. So I'm seeing some people here. You're welcome to stay if you like, but you may find no value in what I'm about to teach here. I would appreciate some respect as we do this work. If you have an objection to what I am saying, you are so free to just move on without disrupting the rest of us. Thokozeni. All right, so let's talk about monitoring spirits. Like I've said, a monitoring spirit is really a spirit that monitors you. The question then becomes, why would a spirit be monitoring you? A spirit may be monitoring you. Mostly they are sent by someone. They are spirits who are sent on a mission, and their sole mission is to get as much information about you as possible. However, there is something a lot of people don't realize. A monitoring spirit is a pre-programmed spirit that will come and get just the information that that person wants about you. So a monitoring spirit can be placed in your life so that this spirit comes simply to take information about your love life. Or it can come to take information about your finances. Or it can come to take information about your future plans in terms of business, in terms of career. So they are usually sent on a very specific mission from someone who wants to know specific information about you. They may not care about your family history and what else is going on and so on. So this spirit comes in to get that information to pass on to whoever sent them. Think of as a monitoring spirit as an agent, an undercover agent. And the truth is, most of them will be undercover unless you know how to identify a monitoring spirit. Now, those who've been following my teachings will also understand that I've always said, for a spirit to actually be able to accomplish what it wants to accomplish, it needs a host. Right? It needs a physical body in order to place itself in a particular place for a particular work. What does this look like? Monitoring spirits are usually planted into things like flies. You know that pesky housefly that will show up in the middle of winter when you know for a fact that flies are somewhere dormant and it's too cold for their eggs to hatch. And then suddenly there's this big old fly that is always sitting in your office. It could be a fly that you always find is sitting in your bedroom, on the wall somewhere, or on the ceiling. You kill this thing or you try to kill this thing and it disappears. But then invariably in the evening, this fly is back there again. So a housefly, they use a cockroach, right? Most people are like, okay, a cockroach is just a pest in a house. But think of a single cockroach where you've never had cockroaches ever in your life, in your home. And suddenly there's a big old la cucaracha this size. There's a big old roach this size that is always somehow, you see it skittering across your office floor. Not your kitchen even. It's across your kitchen, your office floor. Or you're in the bathroom and somewhere it's sitting in the bathroom very quietly. Right? Mice are often used. Mice are often used as agents, if you like, or hosts for monitoring spirits. Pigeons, wild pigeons, are often used as monitoring spirits. You know that pigeon that just comes and sits on top of your roof? And and remember, a lot of pigeons and doves usually move in couples. So the minute you see just this one lone pigeon by itself, and it's always there, and it's usually there at a specific time, and it'll sit strategically either above your bedroom or above your office or by your kitchen window. You're busy talking to someone in the kitchen, and then there's just this pigeon, like they're audacious. You think it's just a bird, right? They're audacious enough that the window's slightly open maybe, and this thing will be there just going, and they won't say anything. They'll just kind of hop, and you'll ignore it because what do you think? It's just a pigeon. No, this pigeon has been pre-programmed, or it has a spiritual chip in it so that it can tap information and come to you. So these animals I'm telling you about, gecko. The gecko is a big one because we know, especially back home on the continent, that geckos like the shade. And geckos, once they get into your home, they make themselves quite comfortably in your house. But think of that lone gecko. You've never had a problem with geckos. You have no big trees around where the gecko could have gone from the tree and into an open window and into your house. Suddenly there's a gecko that just sits strategically in your bedroom. What I would say to people is kill those suckers. And I know the animal activists here will be like, oh, don't kill. No, there's some animals you need to kill. Monitoring spirits take information about you to whoever sent them. And when they take this information to whoever sent them, how do you know that something is going on in your life? That major business plan that you were discussing on the phone with someone, suddenly the person you were supposed to go into business with you starts ghosting you. Out of the blue, you have no idea what's happened. This person is AWOL, you try to call them, they are ghosting you. Number 2, this wonderful relationship you just started with somebody, and that there's somebody you had great pillow talk with. Suddenly, this person doesn't want to see you anymore. Suddenly this person just does not want to see you. They're not calling you. They don't want anything to do with you. And you're left wondering, we were doing so well. What happened? Well, somebody took some relevant information and took it to whoever sent them. And they did what they needed to do. And a lot of it involves, of course, spell work and rituals. That was the end. Most people who have monitoring spirits around them have a start, stop pattern in their life when it comes to whatever it is they're doing. They start out really well, everything is promising, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, boom, it's gone. You start again, you start fine. Before you know it, boom. So it's a start, stop. It's not a continuous, I'm stuck. I want you to understand the hallmarks between somebody who's done something to keep you stuck. We've talked about this. So this start, stop, where you start and everything looks promising. It's like you've checked all the boxes, you're good to go, boom, it stops. Usually it's because there is a monitoring spirit who taps into whatever it is you're doing, takes it to whoever sent it, and that person can then do specific spell work to stop you in your tracks. Monitoring spirits are also very draining. Whenever you have a low vibrational spirit in your home, whether it's in an animal, like I've said, they use animals as host. Having negative energy entities or spirits in your home has a way of draining you of your energy. So sometimes you'll find that when you have a monitoring spirit or monitoring spirits around you, the plans that you have at the start of your day, say, today I'm getting this done. Out of the blue, you just suddenly feel exhausted. Because low vibrational spirits, such as monitoring spirits, are energy. They're vampiric. They're energy vampires. They will drain you because that's another way of stopping you from succeeding or stopping you from doing the thing that you want to do. Monitoring spirits can also cause a lot of conflict within your home. They are low vibrational entities. So this new love relationship you've started, the spirit could be sent to tap and bring information, but it could also be sent to, how can I put this? Interfere with your emotions or your partner's emotions in a way that you are not aware. And suddenly you and your partner, you're just not clicking. You were quite aligned before. Suddenly you're quarreling over things that don't even make sense. You're not aware that this is happening to you. You just think, oh gosh, this person is so irritating. I can't stand being around them. How this usually works, remember, start, stop. This person may show up, everything is fine, you're having dinner, but the spirit, remember, is within this gecko that's in your bedroom. You go to your room, you don't notice this gecko, and you go, oh, cute little gecko. You're there, and then this person suddenly says, it says something totally ridiculous that just ruins the mood. Right? Now the mood is ruined. And there you are. And you're both wondering, and you don't wonder then, it's usually afterwards, you're like, what the hell happened last night? Like, what the hell were we fighting about? Nothing makes sense. A lot of people won't know to look at this from a spiritual perspective, but we'll just, but the thing is, the signs are so visible and so clear. Family, I need you to understand that it is sudden changes in behavior. It's not some gradual thing. It's not like somebody brings up something that is an issue you need to discuss and then you get into an argument. It literally could come from a comment like, I really hate your hair when it looks like that. And you're wondering, but yesterday you liked my hair. Suddenly you don't like my hair? And of course you're going to take offense. And what's that going to do? He's not backing down. There's no apologies. You guys fight. The mood is ruined. And gradually with time, if this is not taken care of, that's the end of that relationship. Which is exactly what the person who sent the monitoring spirit to do wanted to achieve. Are we together? Are we hearing each other? So monitoring spirits are not good to have. rule of thumb, you see something strange, a strange creature in your house that you're not supposed, and they use domestic type creatures, insects, animals that are common. Like people will get mice in their home. People will get roaches in their home. I hope not. I hate roaches. Geckos we know are always around. But you have to be conscious and aware of anything strange, because usually a roach doesn't just start as one roach. And firstly, a roach has to be brought in from somewhere. Where the hell did this roach come from? You didn't travel somewhere to a roachy place and bring in a suitcase full of roaches. So where is this one particular roach? And you will always find it in the same place. They don't shift because they are brought in for a specific purpose, so they'll stay in the one place. Now, when you might throw something at it, it'll scuttle away for a while. But let me tell you, because it's programmed to come back, it's going to come right back in the same spot. That's how you know that something is off. You don't even need to be a spiritualist to know this. You just need to be conscious. That is why I always talk about keeping your homes cleansed. Keep your yards cleansed, because if you don't, then you really open the door for these things to come in. We use a lot of herbs that we cleanse, around your yard, on top of your roof, because these act as deterrents for negative energies and entities that may be opportunistic or those that are actually sent to harm you. Very important to keep your space cleansed. And a lot of people are negligent when it comes to cleansing your space. Inside your home, when you're mopping your floors, get some Florida water if you're out here in the West. Florida water, dunk some of that stuff in your water that you use to clean, and cleanse your space with intention as you are doing your mopping or whatever it is. Put it in your Swiffer or whatever. Mop with intention to remove and to keep out negative energies and entities. Florida water is very powerful for doing that. Clean your surfaces once a month or so with Florida water. Right? Keep plants that repel negative energies at the doorway of your home, so that anyone coming in with anything negative, listen, sometimes they can't even come in. Or these negative things will be like, we're not going in there. But you got to keep your yard, you got to keep your home cleansed. Same way you bath your body and you clean your surroundings. Spiritually, you've got to do the same. A spiritually unhygienic space is a nice playground, and you open yourself up to a lot of things that are negative. Guys, let me let my puppy out of here because she's going crazy. She gets jealous every time I come here because I'm not talking to her. Thokozini. Okay, don't come back, Wade. Sorry about that. I had to tell her not to come back. She gets very jealous if I'm here. She's usually just here with me. If I'm doing consultations, she's very good, especially if someone is distressed that I'm talking to. She'll literally come. But somehow she seems to know that these lives I do in the evening, she's like, yeah, you've given the people the whole day and now you're over here giving them the whole night. No. So, sorry about that. So it's very important to know. Now, here's the other thing that I want to share with you guys. We're talking about monitoring spirits not being human, right? But do you know that people, especially spiritualists who are very adept and who know their stuff, can actually attach an entity to someone who is close to you, especially if they're spiritually weak. They can attach an entity or a spirit to someone who's close to you, like your best friend, like your husband, like someone who's really close to you. And that person, poor thing, won't know that they have an entity attached to them. But that entity also has the ability to manipulate their mind so that the type of questions this person always asks you gives this entity the answers they need so that it can take it back to its owner. Are you hearing me? That is why anytime you go for consultation, you're told you have a spiritual attachment, get it removed. Because you don't know what that attachment is there to do. So the people closest to you can inadvertently ruin you without even knowing that they're ruining you. How do you know that your friend might have, or your associate might have an attachment on them? Very simple. Notice the kind of questions they ask you. Notice the repetitive nature of certain questions. This week, this person asks you, oh, so how did that business deal go? Did things work out? You tell them, yeah, everything went out. Now I've got a meeting with so-and-so and, hopefully, we're signing. The next 2 days or the week after, they'll ask, so how did that thing go? Have you guys signed? Like, what are this person will, you might, if you're not aware, think that, oh my gosh, my friend is so concerned and interested in what I'm doing. Meanwhile, she's asking you questions because she has this monitoring spirit on her, and it's going to take information back to whoever wants to destroy you. People use monitoring spirits a lot. You might have a business rival. You might have a political rival. You might even have a spiritual rival who wants to understand how it is you do the things you do for you to succeed so that they can do it. Sometimes they want to know what deals are coming your way so they can go ahead behind your back and get the deal themselves. Just understand me. So people are using these monitoring spirits for many reasons. I've already given you the ones, someone wants to destroy your relationship because you happen to be in a relationship with someone they like, or they just want to destroy your relationship because they're just mean and jealous, and that's that. But you can never justify the use of evil by saying there was a good reason for it. There's never a good reason to hurt someone, right? But there are many reasons why people would want to use a monitoring spirit. When people don't understand how you operate or how you move, I always like saying to people, confuse the enemy. They will try many things to try to tap into your life, and monitoring spirits are very, very useful that way because the person doesn't even need to be around you. The person doesn't even need to be around you. The person can just be wherever they are, having sent this attachment either through a friend or through these animals, and they can get all the information that they want about you and therefore manipulate your destiny that way. That is why it is very important spiritually to stay protected, keep your space cleansed, and, be on the lookout. And don't talk too much, especially if you have things on the back burner that you're cooking up. Some of y'all, you are here. You are here. Because not everybody who hears your stories, your plans, is as excited about them as you. And not everybody who knows that you are going to do X, Y, Z and might possibly become more successful than they are is happy for you. So now you've given them an opening by having talked about something. Now they want to know more. So what do? Monitoring spirit. So, very important. Somebody says, if you're spiritual and have so-called spiritual friends, be sure they're truly a friend. I say don't keep friends. That's my policy. As a spiritual person, why do you have friends? You need to be so careful as a spiritual person. It's sad, but it's true. And I'm not just talking about spiritual people not having friends. Most of us, especially those who are ancestrally gifted, we've literally been quarantined. Like, we are in isolation, most of us. We are in isolation. When I initiated, I lost every single friend because I'm not the same person that I was before. Some left. I don't even know why they left. Some disappeared. I have not heard from them. It's been however many years. I have no idea where they are. And I have never had the inclination to look for them because I understood that there were a lot of people that were going to be removed from my life for whatever reason. But what I was grateful for is that Spirit showed me by those that left that they were never meant to be there. The few that stayed are ancestrally gifted like I am. So we are more like siblings spiritually. Do you see? I didn't have to run away from anybody. I didn't have to move away from anybody. People moved away from me, which kind of makes life easier because then I wasn't the bad guy. I wasn't the bad guy. The Mkulus and the Gogos made sure that they just they literally did a sweeping, a cleansing, and I was left with the handful that are there who are also ancestrally gifted. So, and even in our journey as ancestrally gifted people, there is a fundamental respect for each person's journey. There are boundaries. They're not necessarily spoken, but the way we respect each other's ancestors and each other's calling is that we move always with that acknowledgement that, yes, that's my sibling, but she comes as one, but she moves with many. So we have a reverence for each other's work. We have a reverence for each other's way of being. We don't cross lines at all. When we do come together, there is an understanding. Either we're coming to work on something together, Togoza, or even when we come, you see, being spiritual is so different because we don't live normal lives like other people. So we don't go partying or let's go out for dinner and our lives are so different. We might meet around ceremonies and rituals and, like I say, work. We work hand in glove. If there's something that I have seen or consulted someone and that person happens to be in South Africa and I'm here and they need physical touch, I know who to call and refer. I've had my siblings in South Africa who've had clients they've consulted in Ireland or in UK where they've diagnosed everything and all I need to do is send them the product that they need. But there's always boundaries and a sacredness that has led to the most beautiful relationships and interactions with my siblings. And the thing is, as a spiritual person, really, for us ancestrally gifted, we're really not allowed to have many people around us. Even if I wanted to, they'll just remove them. They'll just remove them. We are so immersed in our work and in our practice. If you're not working with clients or doing work for clients, you're doing work for yourself. You're doing the regenerative work, the healing work for yourself, so that you can be fully present and fully healed and capable to deal with whatever issues your clients are bringing. So, time for friends? No. Is it a good life? Absolutely. I love it. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. So the opportunities for someone to put a monitoring spirit on me is very rare. And because I'm always on high alert, the minute somebody tries to manifest me, tries any funny thing, I'm on it. And I knock that shit down. But for people who are just living their normal lives, and are living in the 3D world that in that 3D world that we are all having to function in, although we are not of it, it becomes very difficult. You go to work, you're here, there, you're talking to people. Yes, you've got your friends, you've got Bestie over here, you've got Chomam over here, you've got Rahadi, you've got this one. Your family members can put monitoring spirits on you too, particularly those who don't want to see you succeed because their own lives are stuck or their own children's lives are stuck. So sometimes many of us who are suffering from, say, monitoring spirits and things falling apart is that we are literally paying for our parents' sins, because the fight is between Auntie so-and-so and my mother, and they are sisters. But I suffer because Auntie so-and-so is saying, She got married properly. She had these beautiful kids. She has this great family. Now her kids are successful. I'm going to go after the kid. So it's the way it is, guys. It is what it is. But I did want to talk about these monitoring spirits so that you guys understand to be on the lookout for strange things happening in your environment. A cockroach by itself, just a cockroach out of nowhere. Knock that thing out. And when you knock it out, take it and go and throw it outside where it can't be resuscitated. Most times what I do, like when I'm at home and I'm working with someone and we come across stuff like that, I'm like, burn it. Fire is the greatest purifier. You burn it to an ash, it can't be resuscitated. That thing is out. No amount of magic or alchemy can bring something back from the ashes. To get rid of a monitoring spirit, Sunshine is asking. Sunshine, you get rid of you get rid of the host. That's what I'm saying. Get rid of the roaches, get rid of the mice, get rid of the geckos, get rid of these flies. Get rid of them. You kill the host, you destroy the host. The spirit has no host. It needs a physical body in order to land on your wall. So if there's nothing like that, it can't just be around. Remember, it was sent for a specific purpose to be in a specific place. So get rid of it. Just get rid of the hosts. And if like I said, if you identify a person who is carrying a monitoring spirit, who's being used to carry a monitoring spirit, get rid of that person too. And don't knock them out, but I'm just saying stay away from that person and stop answering all their questions. That one I think is more easy to deal with because you're dealing with a human, you're dealing with a person who may have the spirit. And like I said, they ask repetitive questions around the same issue. So suddenly Bestie is interested in your business. Suddenly Bestie is really, really interested in your relationship, like really invested. Understand that it may not be Bestie who's trying to destroy your relationship. Bestie has an entity on her, and there's someone else who's interested in destroying the relationship. Bestie is just a host for the spirit that was sent to monitor. So when that relationship falls apart, you may wrongly accuse Bestie of having destroyed your relationship. Meanwhile, Bestie had no intentions to do that. There's someone else. This is how smart sorcerers are. Like I said, they'll use someone closest to you because that's a decoy. So when things fall apart, you're going to think it's that person who's closest to you. Meanwhile, no, it's not. It's Rahadi in the village who used Bestie to destroy. It's Rahadi in the village in Limpopo who used Bestie in Joburg to destroy your relationship. You're going to have a fallout with Bestie because you think Bestie destroyed your relationship because Bestie was jealous. Come to me and we fall. And I'm like, nah, Bestie ain't got nothing to do with it. I'll say there's a female I'm seeing a female here who has a hand in the destruction of your marriage. You'll say, I know who it is. And I'm like, you do? Yes, I know who it is. Actually, around this time, I don't know, 6 months ago, my best friend just took a sudden interest in my marital affairs. And then I look again and I'm like, yeah, but it's not your friend. It's your auntie in Limpopo. And they're like, no, but Coco, it's my best friend. I'm like, your best friend was being used. Witches know what they're doing. Your best friend was the one. But my auntie's in Limpopo. How would she have known this, and this, and this? I'm like, yeah, because your bestie had a spirit that was monitoring you and sending information. Bestie just happened to be the vessel that brought this spirit, this monitoring spirit. Ah, yeah. If you want to cross-check or double-check that, you know what? Let's do XYZ and it'll be shown to you who is involved in this. So very important to understand the dynamics. That's why whenever someone comes to me and says, I want to do a back to sender. And I'm like, okay, we need to consult. No, I already know who's doing what. I'm like, no, I'm not taking your word for it, because I'm not going to roll up my sleeves and get to work to destroy somebody who could possibly be innocent. So we got to check, because the person you think might be destroying you, it may not be the person. But because their behaviors were so like obvious, you know, like the questioning and the this and the always being there, like how does this person know that me and my boyfriend are together? Suddenly they rock up. Spirits know everything. She's just a poor host carrying the spirit who's going to show up so that the spirit can tap in and listen in on what's going on. She's just a mere host. The person who's responsible is in Polokwane. And shout out to people in Polokwane. Please don't take this personally. I'm just using it as an example. I'm just using it as an example. No, please. Somebody's going to get upset and say, who koko huri batu ba Polokwane babaloy. I'm not saying that, family. I'm not. I'm just using it as an example. Somebody says, but Mkulu in Aquarius are back to sender allowed. Yeah. What does Aquarius? This is justice, morality, truth, balance, and harmony. And sometimes to create harmony where disharmony has been created, to create balance where imbalance has been created, to create justice, spiritual justice where injustice has been done, got to do what you got to do. What you do on the left must be done on the right. It's really that simple. So I hope that this has assisted you guys. I'm going to post this up on YouTube in case you came in late at the tail end and you don't know what this was about. We were talking about monitoring spirits, what they look like, how they present themselves, so that, you guys can keep an eye out and keep yourselves spiritually safe out there. If you're spiritually safe and spiritually sound, then I can guarantee you physically you're going to be safe and sound. Ne? Okay, Masithokozeni. Have a great night.